Good evening, everybody. My name is Tanisha, and I am joined here with Chef Mira. How are you doing this evening, Chef Mira?
I am doing wonderful, Tanisha. It's great to see you. Welcome everyone that's logging in to our cooking class today. Welcome to our kitchen, and I'm really excited because these meal prepping to save money is something that we live by, and I've had a chance to share this with hundreds of people through our classes. So I understand how it works and how it helps people really to see results. So I'm
All right,
excited.
awesome. And before I turn things over to you, Chef Mira, I'm just going to do a quick book shout out.
Yes.
So the book that we are shouting out this evening is Good and Cheap by Leanne Brown. This not only comes recommended by us, but it also comes recommended by Chef Mira. This book is really good for planning your budget planning your meals on a budget. This book is available on Hoopla, one of our ebook and e-platforms. So definitely be sure to check it out. And now I am going to get out of the way so that Chef Mira can present. So Chef Mira, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and always a pleasure again to work with you. Yes, the Good and Cheap book is a great book. We have used it previously to create some videos for another organization that wanted to provide good, nutritious, wholesome recipes that were good and cheap. So we used it. So I'm glad to see the library offering it to our audience. I welcome everyone. We have a wonderful meal prep process that I'm going to share with you here. And the purpose, as Tanisha shared earlier, is to see where are the areas that we can meal prep to save some money, but not sacrificing flavor or quality of what we eat. And this demonstration is also going to show you how to organize the process. So once a week, perhaps, or twice a week, you can prepare, get your meals ready, and then we'll talk a little bit about how that translates to dollars. And we'll also go over some tips and best practices on shopping and planning your meal prepping and dividing your time throughout the week. Okay, so I have this big pot here. I'm going to move it, but I wanted to show you as we go through the ingredients. I'm going to go over some of the recipes and what I use, the ingredients I use to season them. So if you have pen and paper, please get ready because I'll go over the ingredients. I'll go over the recipes. I'm going to multitask a little bit, making the recipes kind of like at the same time. But the roasted turkey and the chicken are already ready. So let's start with that. So I had 3 pounds of chicken breast, and I seasoned them, put them in the oven. The reason I use the oven today is to show you that you can have multiple meals roasting or baking at the same time to end up with different recipes. The multiple ingredients to end up with different recipes. So I had 3 pounds of chicken breast, and then I had a 3 pound turkey breast. There was only about a 12-minute difference in the cooking time, and that's because the turkey was bulkier. So for the chicken, we have 3 pounds of chicken, and we cooked that 35 minutes in the oven and bake setting 400 for 35 minutes. Then we did the turkey, and that was 400 for 45 minutes. And then we did 5 minutes of the broiler just to kind of crisp the skin on top. Now, let's go over the ingredients I use, the condiments I use to season both of them. And what I do is that I get my measuring, and I take a little container, and I just mix my seasonings here, and that's what I use while I'm cooking. So let's get ready. We use salt and pepper, so that just keep around. I use pink Himalayan salt and black pepper. Then I used 2 teaspoons of cumin. Remember, I used it for both, so this is going to be enough for 6 pounds of protein, whether it's chicken or turkey. Then I use 2 teaspoons of coriander, 2 teaspoons of coriander. Then I use 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Then I have 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And I could taste the chicken has that the flavor is delicious. So we have salt and pepper, and the salt and pepper I used about a tablespoon of pink Himalayan salt and about half a tablespoon of pepper. But you can manage, work with your taste buds on that. So we got salt and pepper, cumin, coriander, nutritional yeast, and turmeric so far. I mixed that with lime juice. I put it over the turkey. I put it over the chicken, and I baked it for the times that I told you before. Now let's go over our sides. Now, if you don't eat meats, you can consider these sides your entree. Just be sure, because these ingredients are high in minerals and protein and vitamins. So you can think about it as your entree, and just add maybe some chia seeds to add more omega-3s if you need to. So the first thing I did, and I have here some Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, zucchini, red bell peppers, chives, sweet potato. We're gonna make sweet potato to waste. I have it diced and already baked. I got red onions, cashews, green onions, and then some garlic and ginger here. I have some coconut aminos, which I use instead of soy sauce. Then I have some rice vinegar and red onion garlic. So let's start with the first recipe, and that's going to be the cauliflower, because that's going to go on the air fryer right here. Okay, the cauliflower, I blanched it. The cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, green beans, I blanched, and the reason I blanched them is because if you are making your meal prep and you have all of your ingredients already chopped up and prepped like this, let's say you do this once a week or twice a week. When you're coming throughout your week to start cooking every night or every other night, your ingredients can stay fresher. They hold the blanching, holds already the color much better. So if you put them in the refrigerator, you take them out when you need it throughout the week, they're going to have a lot of flavor. When I blanched them, I added, these are 8 cups of water, and I added 2 tablespoons of pink Himalayan salt. You want your salt to be salty, so it gives you your water, to be salty, so it imparts flavor. So this is what the cauliflower and the Brussels sprouts look like after they've been blanched. So it's the green beans. So with that said, I'm going to move these because I don't need it right now. I already blanched them. I just wanted to show you what it looks like if you're trying to do that at home and you've never done it. Because my turkey and chicken are already cooked, I'm going to focus only on my side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have my cauliflower in a bigger mixing bowl. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of avocado oil, some sea salt, some black pepper, and then I am going to crush some fresh garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic, then use some powdered garlic. But this is just going to give some extra flavor to the cauliflower. And because you added the avocado oil, it's going to stick really nice. Oh, already smells good. Garlic smells so good. So that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna mix it. This is going to go in the air fryer. Making sure that the florets are facing up. I'm gonna try to show you what it looks like. See, you wanna place them, make sure that they're gonna move a little bit, but make sure that there's space between them so they crisp up real nice. And we're gonna put them on the air fryer at 400. And I'm gonna check them at 8 minutes. It's always better to undercook than overcook. I'm gonna save my container with the rest of that garlic because when they come out, we're gonna toss them in here again like wings. Yummy. If you wanna add a little more flavor, I added avocado oil, but if you wanna add ghee, ghee is also great with the both flavors. So I'm gonna keep my container there. Now, next. That's the first recipe, right? Yep. So air fryer. There you go. So number 2, let's get the green beans ready. Again, if you don't eat meat, think about this as probably your entree, but this also is a great companion for fish, for beef, for chicken, or anything else. My green beans, once again, I like to start again with a drizzle of avocado oil. Avocado oil is full of oleic acid, so it's really good for your cholesterol. Omega-3s has omega-3s, and it's really a really good fat to add. So we have the green beans, and we're gonna use coconut aminos. As I mentioned before, coconut aminos is what I use to substitute soy. And then we're gonna use rice vinegar to season our green beans. And then I got my rice vinegar. I get them off the heat for a minute, and then I have a little piece of ginger here that I want to add. I'm gonna use my garlic press. I'm gonna use the garlic press and just squeeze some fresh ginger. If you don't have fresh ginger, they have this really nice little tubes with already crushed ginger. But I have the fresh stuff, so I'd rather use that. And remember, these beans are already blanched, so they're cooked. They're only getting that glaze on them. So they stay crisp, and look at the color. I'm not sure if this light really gives it enough. Right, let's get that temperature back up. Dry out a little bit more of that, the coconut aminos. We're gonna make them a little stickier, and that's it. Okay, this is gonna go down quickly. And see what I mean? If you have your meal prep ready, let's see, meal prep, invest time in a system to pre-make meals instead of wasting ingredients or spending money eating out. So those are ways that we will definitely drain our pockets is by using, our money to eat out or buy pre-made foods. And that's great if you do it once in a while. But if you're trying to save money, then definitely there's something to take into consideration. Because this only takes minutes. And you already have one side ready. We have another side in the air fryer. So, we got another pan over here. And on this one, it was really hot. I'm gonna turn this on, otherwise the alarm will go. The next recipe we're going to make is gonna be the Brussels sprouts, okay? I love Brussels sprouts. I didn't always like Brussels sprouts, but now that I understand them, I like them. They were blanched for 3 minutes. That's how much you wanna blanch your vegetables, 2 to 3 minutes, no longer than that. So, a little bit of avocado oil. Little bit of avocado oil. And we are going to cook our Brussels sprouts with red onions, balsamic vinegar, and cashews. Another recipe that you can consider an entree for someone who doesn't eat meat, or just a side for your fish. Or actually, this goes really well with beef and with chicken too. So we're gonna start by sauteing the red onion. I don't want the red onion to get too soft. I only want to kind of sear it. That's why it's on high temperature, medium high. Because we want to keep the crunchiness on the onion. Then I'm going to add my cashews just to toast them a little bit. And to this, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon. This one we're gonna use garlic, the garlic powder. And I'm gonna dump it right on, I'm gonna sprinkle it above right on the cashews. Black pepper, little bit of salt. You can't smell it, but I could smell the cashews toasting with the onion, and it's wonderful. Tanisha, do we have any questions so far?
We are good so far. I think everybody is just following along and taking notes.
Awesome. Here we go. Little bit to show you. See, you want to see the little browning on the onion? And it takes, again, this goes down fast. So what we said we were doing? We did the red onion. We're going to do balsamic vinegar. I love cooking with balsamic vinegar. And that's 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. The balsamic vinegar, we're gonna. The reason I did not cut them in half is because, and you're gonna see it when I plate it. When you leave them whole like this, if this is a vegan dish, it kind of feels like you're eating meatballs. See? And it looks pretty and fun when you plate it. But you're welcome to cut them in half if you want to get that browning on each side. That looks beautiful too for this recipe. I'm just gonna leave them whole, but that's your choice, okay? So we got the Brussels sprouts. You saw how quickly that was done. That's it. I'm gonna need a bigger container to put them down. So now I have added other ingredients to it. That's it. This time I'm gonna do it like you said you would see it. Look how quickly I did that. You coming home from work, or you clocking out of your Zoom, your last Zoom meeting that probably could have been an email. And you can make this in 10 minutes. If you took the time to get your vegetables ready ahead of time. Okay, so I'm going to rinse my bigger pot real quick. That's our cauliflower thinking. Now we're going to work on the next recipe, which is going to be the zucchini and sweet potato. For those who don't enjoy sweet potato, challenge yourself to try in this recipe because you might like it. And for this, my seasoning is going to be, let me see, I have the Brussels sprouts, we did the red onion, balsamic, and cashews. Now we're going to do, oh, yummy, zucchini and diced sweet potatoes with the everything bagel seasoning. All right, so I'm gonna need another mixing bowl, excuse me. Let me rearrange myself because I got too much going on back here, so if you excuse me, this is real time, real life, and you definitely want your kitchen to be organized. Otherwise, this is what I use for my blanching to get my vegetables. That's what was that. All right, that's much better. As we usually put away. So I have here, this was a whole zucchini and it made about And then this was a small sweet potato, and this is about half a cup. And then we're going to bind the all bagel seasoning with some avocado oil. Again, we're gonna do our salt. Make sure that there's flavor. If you can't use salt or you're trying not to use salt, then use a little bit of cumin and coriander, baby paprika to get that flavor. And with that said, I'm gonna use a little bit coriander. Just a little bit. I like using a lot of seasonings, but I like to add them in layers. I'm mixing right there. And my next ingredient is gonna be a tablespoon of the all season, everything bagel seasoning. That's gonna give me like a nice crunch to my vegetables without overcooking them. Right there. This you can make the night before, so when you get home or when you're ready to cook your recipe, you just have to saute it. Now, this right here, it doesn't necessarily have to be on top of the stove. You could put this on the air fryer, you could put it in the oven. The same steps that I took with the, all right, the brown, I'm gonna give the cauliflower 2 more minutes, okay? Just I want it a little bit more brown. The same process I'm doing with the air fryer, you could do with your oven. But I like showing how to cook on top of the stove in case that you don't want to turn the oven on. You got an option. So how about if I also squeeze some garlic? Who agrees with me on squeezing some garlic on the sweet potato and zucchini, Tanisha? Let's do
You
a
can
circle.
never have too much garlic. Add the garlic. There's never too much garlic.
That is the right answer. Good job. See, and you want to cook the food the way you like it. If this is too much garlic for you, don't use it. But if it's enough or you want more, go for it. So that's it. Now I did not add oil to the pot, to the pan, because I have dressed the vegetables with oil, with the avocado oil. That is a beautiful dish right there. And I want to leave it at medium high, but I am going to cover it just for 3 minutes. That's going to make sure that the steam is going to cook my vegetables inside, but leave them a little crispy when we uncover it and we let the steam out. Then we'll let it set and it's going to crisp up. Yeah, a dish like this, I would add a little bit of bone broth just to create some steam, or lime juice also to make it more alkaline. Okay. So what else do we have? So, oh, we got one more dish, and it's the sweet potato. This one I baked. I have it there because I'm going to show you how to prep it. Just cut it in half. I'm going to put it to the side. That's my cauliflower. So just a couple of, before I continue. So when you go to the store to save you some money, go ahead, look at your pantry, look at your refrigerator before you leave. Make sure that you understand what exactly you need to take, and go to the store with a budget. Do not go hungry. If you go hungry, you're going to start grabbing things that you don't necessarily need, and gonna start spending money that you don't necessarily need to be spending. Also, that avoids that you're going to buy things that you already have at home. Okay. So, look at them. Oh, this smells so good too. So I have saved my little mixing container with garlic. I'm gonna put the cauliflower in there again. At this point, you could plate it just like this. Or you could add some ghee and mash them And it's kind of like a roasted cauliflower mash, your preference. And if you don't like cauliflower too much, but you love garlic, then you will enjoy that recipe. So we have another side down. What do we have so far? We have Brussels sprouts with red onions and cashews. We have our garlic air fried cauliflower. We have our Aminos and rice, vinegar, green beans, everything blanched. So now let's work with the proteins. So one more minute before I uncover. Let me show you. Let me show you the turkey breast that I had cooked earlier with the seasonings that I had shared with you. It went in the oven. I had a little bit of parchment paper on the bottom. And I'm gonna cut it 2 different ways. Okay, I'm gonna use half. This is cooking one ingredient different ways. Take the skin off, gonna cut it in half, right? Then I'm gonna take this side, I'm gonna slice it as thin as I can. And you could have this ready in the refrigerator. Depending on how many people you have at home, you'll cook appropriately the amount of pounds of turkey. But think about it, if you have this in the refrigerator, you can make a quick taco, you can make sandwiches, you could put it in a tortilla, you could put it over rice, over a salad. Now, I got part of it sliced. You can see that, Tanisha, right there? Tanisha?
Yes, I can. It's perfect. Yep.
I'm going to take this one and then I'm going to pull it, because when you pull it, then you have a different recipe, right? You could again use this for tacos, put it inside of a puff pastry and bake it. Tap some homemade pizza. Same ingredient looking different. And another thing is, even though I use the same condiments to cook it, at this point, you could add some barbecue sauce on top of it and make it a different flavor, barbecue turkey, barbecue sandwiches. And then you're saving, you're not ordering out, you're cooking at home. So I got turkey right here 2 ways, right? Remove this out of the way. All right, 3 minutes, I think 4 minutes went by. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Now, I'm gonna spread it a little bit so there's space in between and it keeps drying out. And I'm not gonna touch it because I want it to cook for like 2 or 3 more minutes and create a crust underneath so it's nice and crunchy and beautiful. Because that color that you get when you're browning is flavor. I am going to put together the baked potato now. So, excuse me. Okay, so for my baked potato, and you're welcome to use cheese. There's something I like doing to my baked potatoes, and it's adding a little bit of olive oil to the center and some salt and pepper. Again, we talked about seasoning, spreading your seasonings in layers. So when you're eating, you're also tasting in layers. So the first thing I'm going to add is some of this pulled turkey to my potato right there. You can make these potatoes ahead of time, wait for them to cool down completely, and then cover them and put them in the refrigerator, and they'll be ready for you when you come home. I got some red bell peppers. If you want to add cheese, go ahead. I'm not adding cheese to this one. Then I got some chives. And just another tiny bit of olive oil on top. And you can literally like cover this, put it in the refrigerator. How happy that someone tell them how happy they will be if they like, if they enjoy these ingredients, that you could finish your day of work or school and find something like this already in your refrigerator that is saving you time and money. That's great. Let's turn it off. I'm gonna start putting together this plate. But let's go over some more tips here. Fresh fruits and vegetables. How many times do we buy them and they go bad because we don't have enough time to cook them? So what I do, what I enjoy doing is that I freeze my vegetables and my fruits when I feel that I'm not gonna use them in time. Now, zucchini, tomatoes, onions, you could freeze those. When you defrost them, they're not gonna be nice and crunchy, but they will work to make stews and sauces, and you're not wasting them. Same with bananas. Peel your bananas, chop them, put them in bags, freeze them, label them and freeze them. Freeze really well too, and it's not a waste. Inventory, we talked about that. Double up and save. A lot of grocery stores will have sales on buy one, or buy 10 for 10 or buy one, get one. Look at those two, that will save you money. Keep cans for quick meals. I did not add on any cans to these recipes. I just wanted to use the wholesome ingredients I had in hand, but I always like to integrate one can item at least, whether it's diced tomatoes or corn, a vegetable, just to, again, save money. When in January, this is something I do and I'll share with you. In January, everything that I cooked, I made extra portions and I froze them. So that included, like you mentioned, Tanisha, that African chicken stew, lasagna, like anything that I cooked throughout the month, I froze. And then throughout the month of February and March, almost 3 or 4 times a week, I was taking out things out of the freezer, to the point that I really didn't hit the grocery store from the end of the beginning of March until last week. And that saves us money. So date, label, and rotate your ingredients. Invest in bake in stainless steel pots and pans. They hold they hold the heat better, so that will save you on electricity. One ingredient, multiple meals. I show you that now, and I'm gonna start plating in a few minutes and taking your questions. Eating out, some tips. If you eat out, eat tapas style. Order a couple of appetizers. Like my husband and I, now we go to eat, and we usually, instead of each one of us ordering a different entree, we just order a couple of appetizers, maybe one entree. And if there's, leftovers, make a doggy bag for the next day. We don't eat out as much anymore, but that's just things that we can do. Definitely once a week, prepping, Tanisha, takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending how many recipes you want to create. That smells so good. I can't even tell you. I wish you to smell how wonderful these recipes smell. Sorry for being so loud. I just get excited. Okay, so let's go do a roll call of ingredients and we'll start plating. And while I'm plating, Tanisha, if you have any questions or anything that I could share or go over again, please let me know.
All right, while you're plating, I did have a one question come through. Somebody wanted to know about the liquid aminos. So is that an alternative to soy sauce? Can you use that in place of soy sauce?
Correct. That's how I use it. The ones I used on this particular recipe are the coconut aminos. So they're made with a coconut husk and sugar. Excuse me for coming out of frame. And then there's the liquid aminos that are also made. These are made with soy, but this non-GMO soy. These are the liquid aminos, and then the coconut aminos are made with coconut. This is what I use to supplement, to substitute soy, because one of my daughters in love, when she was pregnant, she became very sensitive to soy, and most ingredients in them, and there's a lot of GMO soy, so we were looking for alternatives, and that's what kind of like came up, and that's what I use. So yes, if you want to replace soy sauce, those are great alternatives. I find them even more flavorful, so you only use less, and they're also lower sodium options. Okay.
Awesome, thank you.
So I am going to start randomly making bowls. All right. So I have here some of this beautiful Brussels sprouts, red onions, and cashews. Again, if you don't eat meat, this is your meal right here. Oh, I'm making a mess. And then, but if you do eat meat, I am going to put one of the chicken breasts that we had made earlier. Can you see that?
Yes, it sure can. That looks absolutely delicious. I am so hungry right now.
So there's one option, right? You can make a couple of bowls like this, and we'll talk about how they can be frozen, and pack them frozen to have for later. And again, I do this a lot, so it saves me when I have to work 10, 12 hours, and I could come and just take something out the night before or take it out of the freezer and cook it. All right, the next bowl I'm going to make, and I'm going to show just different options, so you will use what you have or what you feel is best. This one I'm going to make with my sweet potato and zucchini everything bagel. I'm gonna add some of this. Now, who's going to eat where I'm plating, you might ask? This is going to be my husband's lunch the rest of the week. So who doesn't have to cook every day the rest of the week? This girl right here. Okay, so now to my zucchini, I'm gonna put a little bit more. Zucchini and sweet potato. Now I'm gonna actually add a slice, 2 slices of this turkey. And if you can make some of the gravy with the juice that came out of the turkey, there you have another lunch or dinner. These are, you're making like your own frozen dinners without the preservatives and paying the extra dollars. I'm gonna move this here. All right, so next one. How about one with the green beans? I got some of the green beans. Let me move it over here so you can see it. And I get some of those aminos, a little juice right there. I love making that combination of the liquid aminos with rice vinegar to dump for dumplings. Oh my God, and whether it's dumplings or ay Dios mío, spring rolls. Okay, so now I have my green beans. I'm gonna also add some of this air fried cauliflower with garlic right there. Now, this is going to be our audience choice. Do I put on the garlic cauliflower and green beans, chicken breast, sliced turkey breast, or shredded turkey breast?
All right, everybody, be sure to drop your suggestion in the questions section. Also, if you have any questions, as Chef Mira is wrapping up here, if you have any questions for her, please be sure to put them into the questions section. She's happy to answer them. So please go ahead and drop those in. I am thinking that you should go with that. And yep, people are thinking the same thing as me. Everybody's thinking the shredded chicken. Shredded chicken.
The shredded chicken or the shredded turkey?
The shredded chicken.
Okay. So that same chicken we bake, we're just gonna shred it a little bit. Now this right here, if you give me this bowl right here with a tortilla, I'll make some soft tacos and I'll be happy with that. Again, these are small portions, but if you, I'm just, showing you what the process looks like. You want to cook your portions according to your needs, your family needs, and what's going on in your house. So this one I have beans. I'm going to add cauliflower, and I'm going to add some of the zucchini too. This is going to be an all veggie dish because I like to at least 90% of my meals be plant-based. And, I have a 10% where I will still eat, I still like my cow and pig and, and turkey and all of that. But at least 90% of the time I like to eat vegan or vegetarian. So that's a meal that I could enjoy. Let's make another one. Well, I think I ran out of bowls. Excuse me. I got one more here. Now with these baked potatoes like this, you can make with chicken and add cheese to it. These are very popular in this house. Now I'm going to make my next one with the Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts with, you had chicken before, so I'm gonna do the sliced turkey on this one. And you have your veggies, you have your healthy carbs, you got your protein. So let's go over all of the things that we were able to make. So this is how you meal prep. This is how you take one ingredient and make it with different recipes. You still have variety. It's not boring. They have flavor. They're delicious. And on that note, I need a fork. Or maybe a few. I want to try the everything bagel first. Excuse me. Oh yeah. Oh, that's delicious. I just took a bite and it was first the sweet potato, but then you got the freshness of the zucchini and the everything bagel seeds kind of pop. That's delicious. Let me try the garlic cauliflower. Oh yeah. Garlic and cauliflower go really well together. You have to try this one. I'm gonna try the greens.
All right, and just really quickly, Chef Mira, because we are coming up on our time, I'm just going to go ahead and do a last call for questions. And I am also going to go ahead and put myself back on camera and bring up our thank you slide while you finish up here with us.
Yes. Any questions that we can answer? And again, meal prepping is about saving dollars. Before we close down on what you think of your questions, let me give you some examples. If you spend $10 a day, 5 days a week for 50 weeks, which is, a year, but taking out maybe two weeks of vacation, you're spending those $10 a day turn into $2,500 a year, right? That's spending daily $10. If you spend 5 days, $5, 5 days a week, 50, that's $1,250. Where if you buy, let's say $5 is coffee. If you buy, we spent $100 in a machine last year, $500 in coffee throughout the year, and that's about $150 on creamers, which we use oat milk. That's $750 against $1,250. So there are some savings on making your coffee at home. Same with eating out. If you spend $25 3 times a week, that's $3,750 a year. Against maybe shopping monthly using $300 a month, which is very shy because you could spend a lot more than that. But just the meal preps, you could spend $300 on meal prepping a month and saving, 4 to 5 meals a week. So that's where the meal prep gets tricky. Is not only for your health and eating more wholesome, less free radicals, less people touching your food, but also the financial saving of it. So I hope everyone enjoyed these recipes and you enjoyed the book, the immune cooking book that we're sharing with you too. And thank you for having me again, Tanisha. Always great to see you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, really quickly before we go, somebody snuck in a last minute question. They want to know, what is the best way to warm up the meals after you freeze them?
Okay, so when I freeze them, for example, I freeze a lot of lentils and beans. So what I do is I take them out from the freezer the night before. So there's some planning involved. I put them in the refrigerator, so in the afternoon, the next day, they're completely defrosted. If I'm reheating beans, lentils, that kind of stuff, I just take a little pan, a small pan, and I add maybe about a quarter cup of bone broth. And I put it in low, and I just let it come to, to temperature. If I'm defrosting a meal like this and I have it defrosted, I have this little container that I could put it either in the oven or in the air fryer for a few minutes, and it will reheat my food. Last source, you could use the microwave. Just do 2-3 minutes in the microwave. That's your choice. But that's how I like to do it, is on top of the stove or using the air fryer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, Chef Mira, thank you so much for joining us as part of our Money Smart Week. Recipes are available in the handout section. So if you're on a laptop or a desktop, that would be in the handout section of your control panel. If you're on a tablet, just tap on that little people icon and you'll be able to access it there. A few last minute things before we close out our time here with Chef Mira. Contact information, we always like to add that. If you'd like to tell us your library story, we'd always like to hear it. And of course, we have our link for other classes and events. As I mentioned before, we are in the middle of Money Smart Week. Yes, everything looks delicious. I'm so hungry now. I'm so ready to eat. Thank you again. We are in the middle of Money Smart Week. The link is also available in the chat in the chat section. So little people icon if you're on a tablet, chat section if you're on a desktop. Thank you again so much, Chef Mira, for joining us this evening. This has been a wonderful program. Thank you for all of those lovely options and helping us save money as we prepare our food.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, these are like under $3 portions right here at home.
Yes, exactly. So thank you so much, everybody. Thanks again, Chef Mira. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Good night now.
Good night. Thank you.